your dedication to your people and the people that have supported you, and when you talk about having employees that have been there from the beginning, I mean, I've met a lot of them, and
Yes.
and I know that they're probably going to be watching this at some point, and I have a lot of respect for the people that are in your circle that you have helped, that have helped you,
Yes.
and nothing will ever take away from the value of what people do for us.
Yes.
In our journey.
Yes.
And the freedom and flexibility that they create. Welcome to the Ultimate Real Estate Lifestyle Podcast. I am your host, Guy Bouchard, and today we have the absolute pleasure of having our special guest, Will Lesniak. Will, how you doing today, man?
Really good.
That's
really
amazing.
Good, man. I'm in Belize, so
we are in Belize. We do have that going for us. So first, I'd just like to say cheers to the fact that we are sitting in Belize right now.
Absolutely.
And Will, first, before we get started and before I give you the platform, I just got to say, a fun fact that just came up yesterday. We've been friends for what? Almost 10 years?
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. And it's been one heck of a ride, to say the least.
Lots of good stuff.
And the fun fact is that I have always known you as Will Lesniak. Now, Will Lesniak is how I've been introduced. I've known you. I've said that name in front of you a gazillion times and other people. But yesterday, you corrected me on how to actually pronounce your last name, which is Lesniak, correct?
Lesniak.
Can you just elaborate on that and give me a little bit, us and our viewers, a little bit more background on who Will Lesniak is, where you've come from, and just a little bit of a background on you.
So my name it's a Polish name.
Okay.
So I always thought my name was pronounced Lesniak.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I always thought it, and then I talked to my grandfather, and he's like, "Yeah, actually, the way you pronounce this last name is Lesniak."
No kidding. So when did you find that out?
I've known for a few years now, but
just a few years.
Just a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's almost as recent for you as it is me.
Yeah. So it took a bit to implement it into the vocabulary a little bit, but
okay. So would it be your preference that people pronounce it correctly to say Lesniak?
I'm good either way, man. I've had Lesniak my whole life, but Lesniak is the proper way to pronounce that name because it is a Polish name.
Well, as you know, my name is Guy.
Yes.
Right? Which, when you read it, can be pronounced Guy, but it's the French version. So I've been dealing with correcting people my entire life because I've been called Guy since birth. That's what my family and my friends know me as.
Absolutely.
But when people from the outside looking in, call me just from what they're reading or, it's Guy. So I can appreciate it. And so I just want to know. So if someone calls you up or gives you a shout or, winds up crossing paths with you, I just want to make sure that they're passing on the right name to make sure.
And that's the correct way to say it.
Fantastic.
Lesniak. Yeah, I own a construction company, have for 17 years, been in the construction industry for 33 years. So I got, a vast amount of experience in the industry. I've been around a long time. Built a pretty good business. Haven't done a ton of marketing. There's a lot of, just built it from the ground up and,
Just a blue collar guy making his way through life.
Absolutely. And I've had a good employee base for a long time. Some of my employees have been with us for the full term of 17 years.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, it says a lot about you and your character. And I just have to say, I've invited you on this show not only because you're an extremely good friend of mine, and I appreciate you more than anybody words can even describe. But you also live in genuine integrity.
Mm-hmm.
You care about yourself. You care about others. You take care of your health. And we've done many business ventures together. And in fact, that's how we actually met.
Yes.
And so I'll tell a little story to our guests about how we met and just give some background on why it is that I think it's valuable that they hear your story and that they learn a little bit more about who you are. And we, when I was doing one of my real estate deals in Vancouver, I was looking for someone who could renovate the exterior of the building that we were acquiring. and it was a partnership that I was looking for more than it was a contractor. And I called
Mm,
multiple people and contractors because exterior restorations can be an ugly animal,
it is. Yeah.
right? Like it can open up a big can of worms that you're just not prepared for, and if you don't know what you're up against, like you're in trouble.
Lots of unknowns. Yeah.
Lots of unknowns. And
Yeah.
so I knew that going in, and it was an area that I didn't have expertise in. And so when I was calling around to search for contractors, I was talking to the contractors from a perspective of, hey, like I'm getting into this development. It's going to involve a partnership. It's going to involve investors. It's going to have a component that is largely based around the restoration
Mhm.
of the exterior of this building. And I'm not looking for any favors, let's say,
Yeah.
but what I really, really needed was I needed to know that the person I was talking to that I could trust would give me some kind of an idea or cap or something that helped protect me as the client
Mhm.
before going into it, just to give me a range and to give me an idea of what it was that I was dealing with, and making sure that it wasn't just someone I was going to deal with that was going to just give me a number, knowing that very well that we weren't going to hit it, that they were going to make all
Yes.
their money on the upsell
Yes.
and on the, on the, what do we call those? The purchase orders, right?
Yeah.
Like the, what do we call that in in the construction? The change orders. That's the word
change
I'm
orders,
looking,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And and a lot of contractors make a good living doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
They
here's
certainly
the
do.
price,
Yeah.
but let's not tell them about the deep, dark secret of construction. When we pry this open, we know damn well there's going to be change orders and there's going to be extra costs. And, that doesn't really affect the contractor. They get paid or they don't continue working. But
Totally.
for a client,
Yeah.
that can make or break their entire investment or their bank account.
Mhm.
And so when I was calling around, I was having that conversation with people. And I think I called about 4 or 5 people that, I basically said that to. And I said, look, I know construction, I know the industry, I know you got to make money, but I really need someone who's going to help protect the downside. I'm pretty sure that every single person there, as far as I can remember, basically blew me right off.
Mhm.
Said, I really don't give a shit what your problems are.
Yeah.
We're not going to do, we can't guarantee anything. We're not going to put a cap, which I never expected them to, but I wanted comfort.
Yes.
I just wanted to know that someone had my back.
Totally.
Right. And someone that was going into it knew, I know what the worst case scenario is going to be, and I can help you assess that in advance. And then I'll work with you throughout the process. And I
Mhm.
wanted to be involved in that process. And it wasn't until I called you,
Yes.
which was there was no referral. I think it must have been a Google. I was going through these search engines and I was just doing my due diligence and calling. But when I called you and I had that conversation with you, I could tell immediately that you cared.
Yeah.
You immediately knew where I was coming from and
Mhm.
said, I totally understand. I've been doing this for a long time, and you're absolutely right. You are opening up a big can of worms,
Mhm.
and there is no real way of telling, but I can definitely give you some guidelines around what the best and the worst case scenario is going to be.
Yeah.
And I will absolutely work with you through the process to make sure that your project is successful.
Totally.
Do you remember it being the
I
same
remember
way?
it fully, and I had when I remember back when I did talk to you for the first time, I had a good feeling about you right away, just by the way we spoke, right? So, and I do have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to unforeseen stuff in buildings. I know every aspect of a building from the build all the way throughout till the finish, right? So, and I know what can happen with water ingress, what can happen with mold, what can happen with all these different issues that arise in a wet environment like Vancouver, right? So, and
Absolutely.
we deal with it all the time, right? So people don't, sometimes you look at a building, you don't see any issue at all until you open the wall up and it's like, oh, it's completely rotten. It's gone,
Absolutely.
right? But sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't on the outside.
Yeah,
So,
and in this particular case,
yeah.
we knew it.
Yeah.
It actually had a building envelope engineer's report that clearly
Yeah,
identified that there was an issue,
totally.
right? And and it was just I knew in the moment instantly that
Mhm.
you had the character of the person that I was looking to work with.
I
And
appreciate that.
well, and I, you just gave
Yeah.
me the same compliment, so thank you as
Yeah.
well, because it was you know this, and good people. Like we talk about this all the time. We're
Absolutely.
very, very good friends now. Like this,
Super.
this
Yeah.
is not like a partnership conversation or some
No.
one interaction we had 10 years ago. We built an amazing friendship from this, but we talk about it. People that get it,
Mhm.
right? People that just understand.
Yeah.
and people that you can tell that when you talk to, they understand, they get it. They have a good
You
character,
get it.
they have a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
quality,
Yeah.
they have good intentions, and that they're there to actually serve you and to help you.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
and I think we can both very much appreciate that. And what wound up happening from that is I said, what I'm actually looking for is I'm actually looking for a partner.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I said that, and you said, well, I'm very interested to know what you're talking about, because I'm actually looking to get into real estate as well, and to find an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to have a business opportunity in that industry.
Yes.
So it was
It was a
uh,
win-win.
it,
Yeah.
it was a great
Yeah.
great opportunity where we both
Mm-hmm.
kind of needed each other.
Yeah.
And I remember the, and the speed of trust, is a book that Stephen Covey wrote a long time ago, but it's a motto that I live by, in probably more so than I should, because it might have hurt me just as much as it's helped me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we both can appreciate that as well. But the speed of trust is, here's what I'm looking for, and
Mm-hmm.
here's what I'm going to trust you with.
Mm-hmm.
And the quicker we can trust each other that we're going to do our jobs, the
Yeah.
faster we can move through obstacles.
Absolutely.
And so when I told you, or presented the opportunity, and you said that you're interested, I told you right away. I said, well, like, Will, I barely know you, but if this is a thing,
Yeah.
and we're going to do this partnership, like, I'm talking to lenders right now. We're looking to close on the deal. I'm raising capital
Mm-hmm.
from investors, and I'm going to need you to give me your financials. We're going to
Yeah.
need to talk about your income. I'm going to have a coffee with you right away to see if we're a good fit.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to open up your books to me so that I can see if there's even financially a way for us to move forward on this project.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think we met at the Starbucks in Poco.
I think we met there first. Yeah. And then we went to your office after.
That's right.
Yeah,
and it was your answer was just like, whatever you need. Like, it was just like, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm down. Right.
Yeah.
And you trusted me.
Totally.
I was trusting
Yeah.
you. We went into this thing, and it was the beginning of a magnificent
Mm-hmm.
relationship that you and I have built. Now, we ran into many more issues on
Obstacles.
on that development. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunately not one of the bright shining stars
Mm-hmm.
of our endeavors and real estate investments that we can talk about. But there was other risks associated in that deal that weren't related to your scope. But the point that I'm getting to in this particular case is that was how our relationship started.
Absolutely. But we finished it and we flipped it. So
we finished it. we
Yeah.
finished it. We got out of it. And what it was a learning experience for you and I to go through hard times together.
Absolutely.
First.
Yeah. It was really good.
And it was, and the fact that we were able to get through that and still maintain a relationship as tight, like coming out of that tighter,
Mm-hmm.
I feel, than we actually went into it. And then we were able to roll into other projects moving forward that ultimately we were able to leverage each other's experience, which
Yes.
you are a restoration master. Like,
Mhm.
that is your bread and butter. You know buildings in and out. You know exactly what it is that you need to do, what's wrong with the building, the condition of a building, what needs to be done, the cost, all of the expertise that a
Yes.
lot of people don't have.
No.
Right. And me included. Like, I knew what my expertise is the math on the buildings, adding value to the buildings. If we take a building from, this revenue to that revenue, and it costs this much and it's worth this much, I can do the math to show what the upside is
Mhm.
and make sure that we have enough spread to have a stabilized asset that's going to be valued at more than the cost is.
Mhm.
You, from a contractor perspective, you didn't have the expertise on sort of the valuation side and
No, the real estate
investor
side. No, I mean, I know basic real estate, but that's what I learned from you. A lot of the in-depth real estate stuff, right? So
Well, then those two things
Yeah.
go hand in hand.
they do.
And
Yeah.
that's where we were able to actually complement our
Mhm.
experience together
Yes.
and build this relationship. So, that's why you're here.
Mhm.
And that's why, to all the viewers that are watching, it's to understand what actually got us here and what the value was for me and Will in the
Yes.
relationship that we were able to bring together. But also to understand this isn't about me, it's about you, and to bring value to our viewers through the expertise and the knowledge that you have
Mhm.
in an aspect that a lot of people really underestimate or maybe take a little bit for granted.
Mhm.
Right. And you're also just a beauty of a human being who has probably the most awareness and the most intention around their health
Mm-hmm.
and their wellness, both mind, body, and not both mind, body, and spirit,
Mm-hmm.
in order to enjoy the life that we have. And we've had a synergy on trying to create time freedom for ourselves and our family and the people around us, but doing it in a way that actually allows us to enjoy it for many more years beyond what the money could ever buy us.
Health is everything, man. You're nothing without your health. So
and
nothing.
and all I've learned from you over the years is to appreciate you more and more for having that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And you've leaned so far into that, and I'm so proud to have you as my friend, and it means the world to me to have you as an influence. And even here in Belize, as we're sitting here and we're enjoying, we're enjoying our very rare rum that we
Absolutely. It's so rare.
It's so rare for you to enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're indulging in the moment. But what I've appreciated even about this trip is that we've gone to the store, we've bought healthy food, we've exercised, we've done our push-ups, we've been skipping, we've gone paddleboarding, we've gone swimming in the ocean, and that has been the main focus of our trip and our adventure here,
Mm-hmm.
on top of going to look at all the real estate that we've been looking at. And there, to me, the ultimate real estate lifestyle, the whole premise around that is to help get time freedom through the acquisition of real estate assets.
Mm-hmm.
But the lifestyle part of it is the anchor.
Yes.
And it's what the hell are we doing it all for if we don't have our health and our wellness and enjoying the moment as we're going through the process?
Yeah.
And I think we've done a really good job of embodying that in this trip.
Yes.
And in our relationship. Right?
Yeah, a ton of fun.
And so, it's good information for people to know that you've got you're the full package, man. like you're the full package of a reputable contractor, a great family man. You care about your health, you care about the people around you, and you have an eye for what good quality means in life and in business.
Mm-hmm.
And if there could
appreciate that, Guy. It's super nice, man.
It's not blowing smoke up your, you know what?
I totally get it, man.
You do get it, and it's genuine, and I mean it, and it's why I value every minute that we get together.
The same goes right back at you, man. So
I appreciate it back, my friend.
It's amazing.
So okay, so that's the intro. Obviously, that lays the groundwork, and we're in Belize, and we're enjoying our time, but we're also looking at real estate assets and the value that you bring to the table for me when we're going around and looking at this is your experience. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So tell our viewers, talk to me about what's your company? What is it that you do, and why did you start it?
So my company is All Finish Construction Limited. We started back in 2008. I started it for the purpose of giving, clients a really good service and a good installation, or in whichever construction need they needed, right? So
with a specialty on exterior.
So we do a ton of building remediation, restoration, claddings, all types of rain screens, outsolation, installations, anything to do with exterior. But we do the interior. We do service a lot of buildings that require a ton of assistance. But the reason I got into this company or started this business was just to give people a really good option for quality, integrity, a company you can count on, right? So
big time.
Yeah.
Well, and if the viewers haven't figured it out by now, that's you to your core. And
that's me to my core. I just want to provide the best possible service I can for people.
Well, and there is no second best for you. Like I've seen a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of businesses, and I've seen, I've gone through tons of relationships and partnerships, and your eye for detail and your eye for quality and your passion for delivering top-notch service is second to none. And I think that you're not. This was a bit of a new thing for you to come in.
This is super new,
right?
Yeah.
So like sitting here talking, and doing this podcast, and
I never talk about myself at all. So
Yeah,
no,
and you don't have to, because
no,
your work and
yeah,
and the people around you, they speak for yourself,
totally,
right?
yeah,
They speak to the person that you are.
hmm
But marketing is not your thing. You're not,
no,
you're not super well known to the public. You're not going to find big billboards. You're not going to find a bunch of guerrilla marketing. And it's really the loyal base of clients
yes.
that you have that is just your rinse and repeat.
It's referral, man. It's handshake, referral. Like I say, we do really good work. We provide the best quality workmanship. Really good warranty. We take care of everything we do. So
That
the,
says it all, man. That
yeah,
says it all. And for anybody that's watching, for anybody that has any need for any construction, exterior restoration, anything in the lower mainland of Vancouver, British Columbia, there is only one person that you should be going to, in my very humble but very knowledgeable opinion, about this gentleman and his business. And promoting you and putting you on a pedestal is very intentional, because you deserve it. And your expertise, is through and through. Like, it speaks for itself.
appreciate it. Thank
So
you.
so what is, when it comes to exterior restoration? So restoration is a huge part of the business I'm in, as you know, of restoring
Absolutely.
old multifamily buildings.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff, interior, exterior, it's all the same for me. Numbers, cost, and we tally it up and we see if the numbers work. And it's pretty quick napkin budget stuff. But when we get into the nitty gritty of it and
hmm
we start breaking the deal down, then it really does matter. Then you are getting into the pennies and the dollars, because that's what makes or break. What would you say one of the sort of biggest risks of exterior renovation, or something in your industry that is largely overlooked, that people just don't pay enough attention to?
The roof is a big thing because the roof you can't see most of the time.
Right?
It's the roof, the gutters. That is number one because that protects your whole investment. Your roof, if you have any issues or a little pinhole leak, the pinhole leak can turn into absolute devastation to a
Right.
building, right? So first thing you got to check is your roof. From there, you check all your penetrations, your windows. You got to check the age of checking the age of all these components are crucial, right?
Yeah,
So
that's right.
those are the
Sorry, we got a little friend in here.
yeah, he likes us.
Yeah.
But yeah, those components are what protect your home, right?
Yeah.
That'd be the first thing I look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is one of the biggest costs when you start to get into it? Because we spoke about at the beginning in the story of, my awareness that it's the sort of change order work, and it's the once you get into a job,
Yes.
that's when the bill can really start to get out of hand. And it's not because you're looking to upcharge people, it's because that's where
Yeah.
the stuff that you can't see.
Well, the wood can damage structure. So when you open up, you take cladding off a wall and you open up the wall. And I mean, you got structures, you got beams, you got posts. There's stuff that holds the building up, right? That could be compromised. So
Absolutely.
it happened in White Rock. I mean, we had to restructure, whole sections of the building, and we had to reinforce it all, make sure she's not going to fall down, right? So
Yeah.
but yes, it's unforeseen, parts of the building. And once you open it up, you just don't know what's really going on, right? You
Absolutely.
don't know how long somebody left the building to rot. You don't know how long. I mean, a lot of buildings where I'm from in Vancouver, people just do not do maintenance, right? They don't do any maintenance. They don't clean the leaves out of their gutters. They don't, clean the tree. They let shrubs and trees grow up against their homes. I mean, any type of moisture that all these things create ingress, right?
Yeah,
And
big
then
time.
the building will absorb this moisture, and over time will cause damage, right? And you get mold, you get all kinds of health issues. When you leave stuff, it costs thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to fix. It can be an endless, money pit.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
maintenance is key to owning a building. It's everything. Like if you have for stratified buildings, people that, managers that, look after buildings, you got to make sure, every year you're doing your due diligence and making sure you don't have any faults anywhere. Because like I said, one pinhole leak can damage the whole side of a building.
And it's
So
huge. And a
it's
lot of that,
huge.
and to the point of it being hidden, a
And
lot of that stuff
yeah,
you can't see
you
until
can't
it's
see
too
it.
late,
No,
right?
absolutely.
And if you don't have an eye for it,
For
or
sure.
you don't kind of know those indicators, especially when you're going in to buy these assets.
Yeah.
That can be a real costly surprise or a mistake.
And then we have a lot of buildings in Vancouver that have no overhangs. So we get a lot of driving rain that comes in hits the side of the building. And a lot of these, the envelope is compromised. I mean, a lot of these buildings, previous contractors that came in and did the work, they didn't, do the envelope correctly or detail the penetration correctly. Or there's just so many parts to a building that one little bit of water comes in and just finds its way in, and then it'll always go in that. It finds a track. It never stops going in there.
That's right.
And then then you got an issue, right? So
when we walk around and we've got a pretty good eye for construction, renovation,
totally
deficiencies, capital expenditures, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people do, right? And it's just not their area of expertise. But when we're looking at an apartment building, for instance,
Mhm.
and we're looking at them, all over the place. We're looking at them right now in Belize.
Yeah.
Different climates, different things going on. I mean, a lot of the buildings here are solid concrete.
Yeah.
But not all of them.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of things. But no matter where you are, no matter where you're looking at real estate, whether it's house or it's multifamily buildings, commercial buildings, doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
All of our viewers are looking at different assets all the time.
Mhm.
But it can be very costly to get an inspector in there. And inspectors don't really...
They don't truly know.
They don't truly know,
No.
and they don't truly dig into it. Their job is not to start prying stuff apart,
No.
start looking inside the walls. Their job is to look at things that are obvious
Mhm.
and talk about the potential
Mhm.
or the possible things that could be wrong with it. And that can throw you off either way. I mean, they could talk about all the things that could be wrong, which could scare you.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, you do the actual due diligence and there could be nothing wrong.
Totally.
But vice versa.
Mhm.
You can also have an inspection report that says everything's fine, and you just start opening up the walls and doing due diligence, and it can be an absolute nightmare or a teardown.
Yeah.
And both things are possible. And it's
Totally,
usually
yeah.
somewhere in between, right?
Mhm.
What could you do to recommend to the viewers that would be some of the things that they could look for without calling an inspector or spending money on reports? But if they were just doing their own walkthrough
Yes.
on a multifamily building, let's just say, or any wooden structure, or actually any structure for that matter.
Yeah.
But what are some of the key things that you would be looking for on a walkthrough that you would do when you come to do an assessment for a client?
I look for stains on a building. So I look for green algae stains. I look for bubbling paint. I look for, usually on penetrations on windows, around the perimeters of windows, you have like a rod and caulking detail.
Okay.
And sometimes people don't have any, right? So you gotta look for seals in windows. You gotta look for... Biggest thing is staining, right? So water stains. So what happens is water, say if it enters an upper part of a wall, and it'll travel its way down, and then it settles. And then what happens is it'll try to release itself out. Sometimes you can't because there's paint or, it's sealed in there. But what'll happen is it'll push and it'll peel the paint, or inside the wall, the wood will get saturated with water.
Yeah.
And then it'll try to dry itself out, but it can't. You get dry rot, but you can see on bases of buildings, you can see just discoloration, right? Just around openings, you got to look for discoloration as number one. Is staining.
Okay. So
Algae stains.
So discoloration.
Yeah.
Water pooling is an obvious one.
Bubbling in paint.
Yeah. So these are some of the things. And so you're talking about around doors and windowsills.
Yeah, and bases of the wall.
And bases of the wall,
Yeah.
both interior and exterior. That's
For
going to
sure.
give you a pretty good
you'll get it too on the eaves troughs, like around where you have your gutters. Sometimes the water gets in behind, and you'll get some on your fascias.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Then you'll know you need to do some maintenance, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And discoloration on the exterior of the building, right? It could be sun, but it could be moisture.
Another thing too is just a mildew smell in your house. If you have like a moldy mildew smell,
Right.
and it just all of a sudden starts to appear, then
That's a big one.
we get lots of calls about that. About people having, my house really stinks like mildew. I don't know what's going on, but I have the client will say, there's a bit of an issue kind of in this corner, and it's kind of coming from there, right?
And so when you get that call,
Yeah,
because a lot of people experience that, I've experienced it in my own home, for crying out loud.
totally.
What's the first thing that you would do if you were looking at a building, or you were a homeowner? What would be the first thing that you would do?
We would do some core samples on the exterior.
Core samples.
Okay. So we would do some core. We'd get a diamond blade, and then we do a core sample.
Go right through the exterior.
Like a 3-inch core sample. Go right through the sheathing.
Okay.
The cladding through the sheathing, and then we just you'll get a good determination.
And how many would you do on the typical home? Let's say the 3,000 to 5,000 square foot home.
So
How
if
many
it's just a corner of a building, we would just do like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, just to pinpoint where the location is.
Right.
Like for instance, we just did one. It was on 2 corners of a house. We had a ton of mildew, ton of staining on the outside. It had like a base. It had a barge board at the bottom of the house, which was all curled and stained and was starting to deteriorate at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so we pulled that off, and we did some core samples, and we figured that we actually take the whole height of the house off because it was rotten. It basically, all the water dripped down to the base of the wall, and then it slowly started reabsorbing back up.
No kidding.
And that was probably over 15 years.
No kidding.
Yeah. So we had to remove the entire corner of the house on two locations.
And what was the main cause of that?
It was just a flashing. That was it had a flashing. It came on the outside corner, wasn't properly detailed, and the water came in through the outside corner of the flashing and rotted the whole corner right out.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And that's a very small detail.
Very small. We're talking like over 15 years. We're talking like maybe, a few drips.
No kidding.
Yeah. Like, every so often when it rains, right?
Yeah.
The rain hits it, runs in. I mean, and we have to go back to the same place. There's another location that
very common.
Yeah, so we do for a lot of clients. A lot of clients don't have big budgets, so we'll do different phases on the homes. We'll start on like this corner, 1 year, and then we'll do another area or whatever they have a budget for.
Yeah,
right. Because not everybody has a budget to do this expensive work, right?
Of course.
So
and it is expensive.
It's expensive. Yeah,
it's all unknown.
It's unknown stuff. We don't know. We had to replace.
Like, hey, here's the rate, the best guess I can give you.
Yeah,
and then when we open it up, there's going to be more.
Yeah, you just give them a budget. Say this is a budget, and then again, we don't know. This grew by say another 50%, right, over our budget because again we had to replace structural posts and we had to rip off the cladding. There's just it was a lot of work.
Yeah, no
right?
kidding.
So yeah,
no kidding.
Yeah, but like water issues in our part of the world are huge, right? And this building's a concrete building, but again with concrete absorbs moisture, right? So if you don't properly detail it, it'll still cause damage to the structure. So you have rebar within the concrete, and if you get enough moisture in there, it'll rust the rebar.
Yeah.
It'll start puncturing, it'll start pushing the concrete out.
Right.
It'll start spalling, right?
Okay.
So it's important for these buildings too.
So concrete isn't indestructible to moisture.
Definitely not. It has to be maintained. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anything moisture can absorb into can cause damage.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a big one.
It's a big one.
It's a killer.
And there's so much damage everywhere, and people just they're negligent. They don't want to put effort into it, or they oversee it, or they don't. It's not they don't care. They will push it to next year, and the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
What's been your biggest? Who has been your biggest inspiration in your journey of building your business and getting to where you are now?
Gosh, I mean, I'm in my career, being in the field on the tools, I always was attracted to people that successful people that want to do the right thing all the time. There's many people that I looked up to in my career, but I just took little tidbits from everybody and created what I have today. Right, so as a great guy. Who's a great guy that I definitely have to be thankful for, just with his guidance and there's a few guys, but a guy named John Markich was a good inspiration for me. He had a restoration company. He still does.
And was that early on in your career?
Early on in my career, yeah. And then I did some work for him prior. And then when I started my own business, he actually hired us to do some work initially in the first year of my business.
Yeah.
But he was very successful, cared, very, very caring guy when it came to, quality work and doing the right thing, right? So I only ever want to do the right thing. That's the most important thing for people, right? When somebody spends money, you got to make sure that, you're giving them what what they're spending, right? So
absolutely.
what they want. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you're also a family man. So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about your family at home, because we've obviously got some connection there, but I
Yeah.
know
I
that's
got
a big part of your life and who you are.
totally. I got two beautiful twin daughters, 12 years old. Got a wonderful wife, Naoko. She's a wonderful wife, wonderful mom.
And she's a part of your business as well,
She's a part
right?
of our business, yeah. So she does a lot of the background stuff, all the payroll, all the bookkeep, like a lot of the bookkeeping. She does a little bit. I know we don't do a lot of marketing, but she does some of it for us. She does a lot of different things. There's so many components to running a business, between WCB and our insurances and all the other stuff that goes along with it all, right? So she's kind of like the one in the background that looks after all that stuff, right? So yeah,
It's a big part of
yeah,
it's a big part of successful men, successful businessmen is the
yes.
family and the support systems that we have at home. So I
Mhm.
can, I can appreciate that. I mean, the twins, your twin girls, Ellie and Katie,
Yes, they're
right?
doing. They're both swimmers. They're phenomenal swimmers.
They are, yeah.
Yeah,
Talk
yeah,
about that a little bit, because that's just been kind of in the recent years.
yeah.
That
In the
that
last
that
4 years, yeah. So we got them in swimming when they were a little bit younger, and then they just loved it. They were in summer swimming for 4 years, and Katie broke a couple club records last year.
yeah.
Yeah, she got went to provincials. They went to provincials 4 years in a row, and they've got golds and silvers, and
That's
they've
phenomenal,
done
man.
phenomenal. Yeah, Ellie is. You should see Ellie now, man, and she's in winter swimming, and she is dynamite. Like both of those girls are dynamite, right? And twins are funny, man, because they're always competing all the time. So, one gets a hit front of the other one and vice versa. So it's been like that the whole process, but they truly are incredible athletes, right? So
No kidding.
yeah, my wife she keeps them in check, man, and they truly love swimming, right? And they love they're in Kumon and all kinds of stuff to better themselves for the future, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they take after their dad.
Yeah.
Top-notch quality.
No
Well,
kidding, eh?
and it's awesome. I mean, that's, our origin story is through business.
Yeah.
But you're one of five of my very, very good friends who we share twins with.
Yes.
So I've got twin girls as well,
Yeah.
which was a big connection of ours. My twin girls are 10, as you obviously know.
Yeah.
And yours are 12. And I've got a few other people in my circle that are twins. And it just seems that some of the people that are closest to me in my life, we share that as well, which is a pretty awesome experience for as far as kid goes, right?
Yeah, when I first went to your office, first time when we met, and I saw your computer, and you had your beautiful family pasted on your computer as a screen, how it comes on the screen.
Yeah,
yeah,
the screensaver.
Yeah, screensaver. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I'm like, I like this guy. He's a good guy. Yeah, he's got twins too, man. So
yeah, he knows what's up.
He's been through it. So yeah,
there's a level of respect there where you're just like, okay,
yeah, oh yeah, he gets it.
He gets it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's wicked. So tell the viewers a little bit about your health. I want you to talk about that. We all share. I feel like we all share the genuine desire to be healthier, to live healthier, to want to make the right decisions.
For sure.
You're on a completely different level of commitment. I mean, when we first met, we got into drinking scotch, and that was a huge part of,
Yes.
of our relationship. Not that it was our relationship, but we enjoyed it.
Golf too. Golf was big, man. It's still part of our relationship.
It's a big part of our relationship.
Yeah.
Not a big part of our bragging rights about how good we are or our scores, but I think, every single golf course that we've been to, we've got a picture at the 18th hole,
man.
right? Since the day we started.
So many good pictures. Yeah.
But your journey, your journey has just continued to level up and level up and level up to a place where it is so crystal clear how much you care about yourself, your health and your wellness. I just want you to just talk a little bit about that, because I know people that know you well know it, but I'm very close to you.
Yes.
And I know it at a much deeper level than most. And I think people would get a lot of value out of hearing you talk about it.
Yeah. Health is, it's really the fundamental part of our life, right? I mean, if you don't have a healthy lifestyle, it's not gonna carry you very far, right? So, just it took me a long time. I mean, I'm 49 years old. I mean, to get to my regime that I
And
have
you look
now.
younger than me, by the way. So you still look like
Yeah.
probably 39 at the most, just so you know.
But health it truly is. It's everything, right? There's nothing more. I mean, it's a gift, to get up every day, to communicate like we are now, to go swim in the ocean, to talk to our kids. I mean, it's a gift. And to continue that gift, we got to take care of ourselves, right? So, it took a long time to figure out what my regime is. I'm very detail oriented when it comes to, my processes and my vitamins and, my exercise and, saunas and PEMF, which is something you should look into. It's
You've been talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Expand on that a little bit. What's
Yeah.
it? Because we've talked about it a few times, but I think, again, everybody
Man,
can get a lot of value out of that.
Out of everything I've ever done in the health realm, it is the most incredible thing I've ever come across.
Not to put you on the spot, do you know what that acronym stands for?
Pulse electronic magnetic field therapy.
Okay.
It's just, man, if you look into that, it's unbelievable. I mean, what it does is it puts energy back into the cells, right? And then human bodies it's an amazing thing. It can heal itself. But again, as we age and as we have all these different environmental issues and, with alcohol and all these things that we put into our body, it makes it more difficult for our body to heal itself, right?
Course,
so what PEMF does, you should do PEMF with doing other, taking care of yourself, right? Like exercise and limiting alcohol and make sure you take your vitamins and eating healthy, mostly if you eat more fruits and vegetables, it's the best. But PEMF, it actually puts energy back into the cell. So what happens when you put energy back in the cell, then it gives it communicates better, it reduces inflammation. It's truly the most remarkable thing I've ever come across, and I've been into it for maybe about a year and a half, and I'm gonna get my own machine. Like, I have a smaller unit, a Flex Pulse, which is a really good unit. I have one here because I travel with it. I use it when I'm driving or if I'm sitting in the office. You just connect. It's no different than charging your phone. It's different, with cell phones or anything electronics that we have. It's EMF. It's bad for the cells. It disorientates them.
Okay.
And so what PEMF does is it orientates them and it gives them energy to do the job, to give the body the energy it needs, because the body does all the work. You just got to give it the energy, right?
Right.
But if you combine it with a healthy lifestyle, it's a game changer.
No,
for reducing inflammation, back pain, all kinds of. I could go on and on. It helps everything.
So you started your career and your sort of adult life in the restoration and the quality of buildings and fixing the insulation and the outsulation of buildings and sort of repairing things from the outside inward.
Yeah,
and you've kind of come full circle to really doing that with your body.
Totally. Yeah. I mean,
you care just as much about your body as you do the buildings and the clients. And it's kind of, to me, it seems like the same. You're repairing inside, outside, full restoration and keeping that top-notch quality and that maintenance.
Yeah. I started back when I graduated back in 94 from Terry Fox. I went to, I did some video television production. I went to Columbia Academy for a bit and did some work there. And I'm doing something completely different than what, where that brought me. But
which is, another fun fact that when you came on this trip and met our producer, Daniel Pender, sitting behind the camera right now.
Yeah.
You guys had a little story about the fact that you guys were in the same class or in the same university, like doing the same thing.
Totally. Yeah. I was studying cinematography. Right. So,
it was just wild.
Yeah. And then I bought a sports car and I had to start working. So I bought a sports car. Yeah. I got into construction. I had lots of family people in construction, and my dad got me, a position in a company. I started from the ground up as a laborer. Yeah. Worked my way up, learned all the ins and outs, every aspect. I mean, I do recommend that to anybody that wants to learn about construction. You got to start from your ground up, right? You got to learn every part of it, right? Yeah. And that's what I did. And then I perfected over the years, and worked for a bunch of different companies, and yeah, I just decided to run my own company, start my own business. And I had,
Love it.
one of my best friend that unfortunately has passed away, really pushed me to start my business. My wife now really pushed me, in a positive manner. I mean, I always want to do the right thing. I want to give people the best option, right? And I'm thankful for them pushing me.
Right.
Yeah, so it got me to where I am today.
And, we were obviously, again, close, losing your best friend. I mean, that was a big, big impact on your life, right?
Huge impact.
Talk about him. Give him the honor of telling us a little bit about who your best friend was back in the day, because that was well before my time.
Yeah, so his name was Spencer Leslie. He came kind of the same roots as I did. Just an amazing human being. I mean, you and him were very, very similar in the way you guys carry yourself. Just good, just really good people, right? Yeah, he just full of integrity. You could trust him with anything.
No kidding.
Yeah, and he did. He started in the bank. He never did any schooling or anything. He started in the bank as a bank teller, worked his way up to a bank manager, and and he had a special position after that. Like he was like top in TD Bank. Like
No kidding.
he was only 37 years old. Man, he had two beautiful kids, Phoenix and Sasha, beautiful wife, Devin. And unfortunately, he came down with, got cancer, man. And it took him in 8 months. So
That's crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. And he always told me, he goes, Will, he goes, I just wish I would have done more. Like I would have spent more money. I would have renovated my house. I mean, you can't take your money with you. And of course, you need money to do things, but he always just told me, he's like, just try to have fun with your life, man. Like live life to the fullest. Try to save a little bit of money for the future and stuff, but try to live your life and have fun, right?
Big time.
Because he didn't get to experience, after 37, right? So
That's very, very, very sad.
yeah, and he was the best man at my wedding. He's the reason I met my wife Naoko. And
No kidding.
Yeah, my wife. She's Japanese. She came from Japan, traveled all over the world, and came to Canada. And she went to TD Bank downtown on Georgia Street there, and it was 2 minutes before closing, and she walked in. She wanted to open up a new account, right? And someone in the bank says, "Oh, we're closed now." My buddy ran up. He goes, "I'll take care of you, but come with me. We'll come to my office," right? Super good guy, just like you. Yeah, just has that good, yeah, just a really good guy. And just took her to his office, and 5 minutes into the conversation, "You'd be perfect for my buddy." All right, perfect match for my buddy. I'm like, oh, it's so funny when he told me the story.
What a gem.
Yeah, so he set us up we went out to Brooklyn Pub in New West, and the rest is history, right?
No kidding.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, cheers to your buddy Spencer.
Yeah, he was a good man.
I wish I would have had the pleasure of meeting him.
Well, you guys would have hit it right off.
Well, we both had the very good pleasure of having you in our lives, and that's one thing we already have in common. So appreciate you sharing that. And it's it's not easy to talk about the sort of tough times, but I think it's not only helps honor him.
Yes.
But it obviously, even the story of talking about enjoying your life, it feels like it's what anchors you in your health.
Yes.
And your wellness and enjoying and everything we ever talk about. Like no matter what I talk to you about in business, you're just like, when are we going golfing?
Yeah, when we go golfing, man. Gotta go golfing.
Like, yeah, I love talking to you. Like when are we going out again? Like,
man,
right?
We have
enjoying
some good
life.
Time. Oh, we gotta enjoy life, man.
And a big part of this trip, like because you kind of relate with identify as an introvert.
I'm an introvert when it comes to traveling, right? So, before I met my wife, I never, I was always a homebody, right? My wife's a traveler, likes to go have some fun. And, after we got married, we went to Japan, right? So first time on an airplane, didn't do a ton of travel, but I've been to Japan 5 times, been to Hawaii multiple times, been to Mexico, been to the United States. I've been all over the place now, but she got me out of my shell.
Right.
So, but I mean, I've done it with her. You know what I mean?
Right. So, this trip that you're on right now is a big deal.
It's a man trip, man. It's I'm very thankful for it because it got me out of my shell. So, and I mean, we, us playing dice. I mean, I learned a new game this trip. It's a phenomenal game. So, very thankful, man. And just being in Belize here, it's a beautiful place. I mean, it's 30 degrees. Back home, it's like 5 degrees. So,
That's right.
it's
Well,
totally different.
well, and we get to, we're immersing ourselves in our ability to enjoy each other's company and the simple things in life while we're
Yes.
doing business, while we're talking about business, while doing all the personal stuff, and all of it just feels the same, right?
It does. It just feels like it feels natural, man.
It's all natural,
It
and
is.
I
Yeah.
mean you're along on this journey with me as well as
Yeah.
I'm creating the direction that I'm going in with the coaching, consulting, and helping other people live the ultimate real estate lifestyle, because
Yeah.
it's really anchored in
Yeah.
how to generate wealth and how to generate time freedom to be able to bring this type of relationship into their lives and these moments into
Mhm.
everybody's lives, right? And more of it for us. I mean, we're not sitting on top of our pile of gold and flying private jets and don't have obligations,
Yeah.
but we're
Definitely
enjoying
not.
the process.
We're enjoying the process.
And
Yeah.
that's probably one of my biggest messages to all the viewers and to every single person that we're talking to right now and that we ever will interact with is that
Mhm.
we'll probably never stop this process. Like I'll
Ever.
never stop wanting to do this with you. I'll never stop looking at buildings. I'll never stop looking at opportunities to
No.
add value or working with people to help, bring them up and give them more enjoyment in their life. But man, if we can't figure out a way to enjoy the process more while we're in it,
You
then
got to.
what
Yeah.
are we doing it for?
Totally. Work
Right?
hard, play hard, man.
Work hard, play hard. And
Yeah.
and I think we can both appreciate that a lot. You look, we've covered a ton today,
Yes.
and I really really appreciate you doing this. I know this was getting out of your comfort zone a little bit. We've talked a lot about your business, even off camera before, on taking steps because because of that time freedom aspect.
Mhm.
I only have a couple questions left for you, and I want to leave people with sort of the takeaways of what you're doing in your life and your business and what your direction is, because you're in the business, you're working, but that's not the end result, right? Like it's
It
not,
isn't, no.
our intention is not to continue working in our business and continue grinding away 8,
No.
10, 12 hours a day with an obligation of having to continue being there. What are some of the next steps that you're trying to take in your life, in your business, and your journey after achieving great success with your family and your business? And not to say that that's going to end,
No.
but what are some of the aspirations that you're looking for to try and achieve to see the next 5 years, 10 years of your life?
So I'm looking at, having the business just run itself without me there. Right. So I'm sure I could, take a few phone calls a week or whatever, but the plan is to have it run itself. So
Yeah.
it can still provide the same service, when I'm not there. Right. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And your dedication to your people and the people that have supported you. And when you talk about having employees that have been there from the beginning, I mean, I've met a lot of them, and
Yes.
and I
They're
know that
good people.
they're probably going to be watching this at some point. And
Mhm.
I have a lot of respect for the people that are in your circle that you have helped, that have helped you.
Yes.
And nothing will ever take away from the value of what people do for us
Yes.
in our journey,
Yes.
and the freedom and flexibility that they create, right? And that's something that I know you have a tough time thinking about,
Mhm.
sort of leaving behind, or what that looks like for somebody else to run. But that's a natural course of a leader and an entrepreneur. Take
Mhm.
care of the people that have taken care of you, but also work on progressing yourself and helping others progress as well.
Mhm.
And so what are some of the things that you would do with more time freedom outside of your business?
I mean, I'd probably be working with you more. Right. So
What does that look like to you?
that looks like working and doing some more real estate deals, and figuring out the restoration aspect, and just keep pushing forward, right? And if I could have my business run itself more efficiently, I'd have more time for my family. I'd have more time, obviously, with my wife. Have more time with my good friends, and good time. Also an opportunity to create another avenue of income, right?
Right.
So yeah, and
Create some passive income.
exactly, passive income is the whole part of it all, right? Is to make some, be able to do this stuff on the beach and swim in this beautiful pool and just enjoy life, right? So
Amen to that, man.
yeah.
And I mean, the work that you put into your business, everybody gets kind of caught in that trap
Hmm.
of, wanting to do the right thing, wanting to create more time freedom,
Yes.
but then wind up just working in their job or
Exactly.
having a job in their own business. And the next step for an entrepreneur is how to create more time freedom, build it up
Mhm.
to a place where you can still offer your employees, your
Yeah.
company, and your family with the same benefits, but how to create more time,
Yes.
right? And I think we've learned along the way that acquiring assets that can appreciate over time and generate cash flow if done correctly and through
Yeah.
our value add strategies that you and I have put together a lot, that starts to bring more money into your pocket. That starts to give you more freedom, and then it gives you the ability to even work on your business more,
Mhm.
spend time with your family, your friends, but on the business. How do you grow and expand your business to make it better for the people inside of it?
Totally.
Right. And so those are all huge aspects.
Mhm.
So I totally appreciate that about what we're building together and being able to get to spend more time,
So more time, man. Have
because
more fun.
more
Yeah.
time, more fun, because
Yeah.
honestly, we just can't enjoy it without it. So last question for you. If you were to look back at the younger version of yourself and be able to take that young buck aside, what would be the one thing that you would say to the younger version of yourself?
Get into real estate sooner. Right? That would be the most important thing, because when you're young, if you can just get into anything, a condo or whatever you can buy, just get into it and create wealth from there,
No kidding.
right? So,
Try and get that time freedom as quickly as you can.
absolutely. I mean, if you can get a little piece of the earth, and just keep building from there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But the right piece,
The
making
right piece, the right piece.
making sure
Yeah.
that you're investing in the things that are going to give back to you, not take from you,
Fully. Yeah.
right? And I
Mhm.
think we've learned a little bit of both of those sides of things in our journey, which gives us the edge on
Yes.
what not to do moving forward. But
Mhm.
appreciating that time is amazing. So, Will, I can't thank you enough for taking this time, man. And I'll give you another cheers here to our rum punch in Belize.
Cheers, Guy.
I love you a lot, man, and I respect you and everything that you've done, and appreciate you taking the time. And I hope you guys got a ton of value out of this, and not only from the business perspective, but a little bit of an insight into what really drives professionals and wanting more for their life and their families, and the quality of what living a better life outside of your work and outside of your life and business looks like. So thank you for watching The Ultimate Real Estate Lifestyle. Stay tuned for the next episode.